All right. Okay, everybody, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And both feet flat on the floor, just really feeling the sensations of your feet on the floor. So, Jerry, I don't know if you're walking while you're doing this or just sitting listening, but you can follow through this. You can feel the sensations of your feet as you're walking. So for everyone else who's maybe you're sitting cross-legged, you might feel the weight of your legs on your feet, your sits bones in the chair, and then just feel your shoulders aligned with your hips, and then your ears aligned with your shoulders. And imagine your spine, excuse me, is this a beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine you're lengthening your spine. Then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension in your scalp, in your forehead and eyes, the back of the eyes, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, the nose, the mouth, back of the tongue. And just allow your jaw to relax. And relax the temples and the ears and the inner ears. Relax the back of the head, the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And just be aware of the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allowing those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just check in with yourself. How is your mind going this evening? And it may, if it's busy, try and just sort of empty out the thoughts. Maybe you could use an image of pulling the plug out of a bath and just watching all the thoughts just kind of go down the drain. And last night I was we brought Judith home for a home cooked pizza at our old neighbor's home, and we watched Minga Rinpoche's Wandering But Not Lost, and it's such a beautiful movie. But also in that movie, he mentions in like Tibet or Nepal when they're growing vegetables, the pigs want to come and eat the veggies. They get a stick and they poke the pig in the nose, and the pig doesn't come back after that. I find that hard to believe, but anyway. So what Minga Rinpoche was suggesting was that we do something similar with our own thoughts, our negative thoughts, our delusions. Is that when something's arisen and we've detected that it isn't positive, we can just imagine we're, poking our thoughts with a stick, poking our nose with a stick. It just brings some awareness to that, and hopefully we won't go back to that negative thought. It's very similar to what sometimes is done in therapy, where you have a elastic band around your wrist and you can pull it. I don't know where everybody's at with that these days, but you pull the elastic band just to very gently remind yourself of some thoughts that you might be having. So allow the thoughts to arise and abide. And perhaps just don't follow them. Don't follow the story. And just be curious about what you're seeing. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like. And then just think they're equal in these three ways: that they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And so we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So, logically, it makes sense to remove those negative karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not wanting forgiveness here. We're not looking for, like a higher power to sort of sweep in and fix everything. We're doing the work ourselves. And so you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light. He's sitting on a lotus in a cross-legged position. And he has this beautiful face, and his eyes are very loving and very compassionate. And he's looking at you in this sort of very welcoming way, no judgment, accepting you exactly as you are turning up this evening. And his arms are crossed at his heart. So the left is always closest to the heart, and then the right above that, on top. And the left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so then we do have a little bit here to think about in terms of developing compassion. So we bring to mind the people we've harmed and the people who've harmed us. And, have just a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then particularly for those who have harmed us and caused us sadness or unhappiness or difficulty, that what they've done to us is going to be suffering for them sometime in the future. So you have compassion for them about that rather than sort of the mind of revenge. It's not healthy for us. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is where we're doing the actual practice. We're taking the medicine. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabosidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hom pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. Next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and it disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel really happy. Your speech is completely purified. And imagine that you can't do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And this also includes everything you put up on line, all your social media, all the letters that you write to people, emails, all of this. So beneficial for others, your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and comes to your heart. And as instantaneously as, as you flick on a switch in a dark room and the light comes, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, anger, disappointment, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be really delighted that your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. They're all gone. And imagine now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So then we come to the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time you imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar all at the same time. And the nectar flows down and pushes out all the negativity of the body, and the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and blasts all the delusions. And this way, eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sabasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hom pe om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sabasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hom pe om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sabasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hom pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sabosidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hom pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sabosidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel you're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's really crucial, because in order to actually stop harming, we have to decide that that's what we want to do. And even if you're not a very harmful person, and most of us probably aren't, but maybe you want to make a conscious decision in your mind to be very aware of your habits and how they might sometimes hurt others. We just have to be very careful. So even if you just make a decision to be more careful, more mindful in your interactions. So then rejoice in your efforts, and then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Keep it simple. And Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So now Rinpoche would ask us to think about meditating on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, everyone. Let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. With this request to the Tathagata, the master of all secrets of Vajrapani, his body bowed, his palms politely joined, then stood before the Lord devotedly. 2. The reply. And so the Blessed One, Lord Shakyamuni, the best of men, the fully awakened one, extending from his mouth his handsome tongue, a tongue unmatched in both its breadth and length, displaying a gentle smile to living beings, a smile that fills a threefold world with light, that tames the enemy, the four Maras, that ends unwanted birth in all three forms. Okay, everybody. I wish you a good night. I will see you tomorrow morning, and hopefully I will have slept off some of the side effects of the vaccines.